Ferrari is burning from the inside again. After a disastrous weekend in Brazil, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc have both been publicly scolded by Ferrari's chairman, John Elkann. He told Hamilton and Leclerc to focus on driving and talk less. It was a direct and very public warning, one that hinted at deep frustration and, possibly, a loss of patience at the highest level of the team. But this wasn't just about a bad weekend. Inside the Ferrari garage, tensions have been rising for months. Whispers of disagreements between Hamilton and the engineering department, frustration from long-serving Ferrari staff who are reluctant to accept change, and the constant shadow of Redbull and Mercedes closing in. All of it now threatens to implode under the pressure. The chairman's words were not only aimed at his drivers, but at the entire culture of the team. And when the boss speaks this sharply, something big is brewing behind the scenes. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned, because this story could reshape Ferrari's entire future. What's happening inside Maranello right now is too big to miss. The Brazilian Grand Prix was more than just another bad weekend for Ferrari. It was a public unravelling of one of Formula One's most iconic teams. The Scuderia left São Paulo humiliated, broken and exposed. A double DNF, a furious chairman, and two drivers seemingly walking on eggshells. What happened in Brazil wasn't simply a failure on track. It was the spark that illuminated Ferrari's growing internal conflict. Charles Leclerc's race ended before it even began, 6 laps in, after contact with Mercedes rookie Kimi Antonelli. The stewards controversially penalised Oscar Piastri, but that did nothing to ease Ferrari's frustration. Then, disaster struck again when Lewis Hamilton made contact with Carlos Sainz and Franco Colapinto at the start, sustaining terminal damage and retiring early. It was Ferrari's third double retirement of the season, a result that saw them drop to 4th in the constructors' standings, behind Mercedes and Red Bull. For a team that entered 2025 dreaming of titles, this was nothing short of catastrophic. And when the dust settled, the real bombshell arrived. Ferrari chairman John Elkann broke his silence with a rare and brutally direct statement. It's important that our drivers focus on driving and talk less. The comment hit like a thunderclap, a stinging public rebuke aimed squarely at Hamilton and Leclerc. Ferrari's chairman had just told his superstar drivers to stop talking and start performing. In F1, where public image and unity are everything, that kind of statement doesn't come lightly. It hinted at a deeper frustration within Maranello, one that may have been building for months. Behind closed doors, tension has been brewing. Sources close to Ferrari suggest that not everyone in the garage has embraced the Hamilton effect. While Hamilton brought unmatched experience and professionalism from Mercedes, his strong opinions and constant push for change have reportedly unsettled some long-serving Ferrari engineers. These are people who've spent decades under Ferrari's rigid, hierarchical culture, and they're not used to being challenged. The arrival of a global superstar like Hamilton was meant to inject fresh energy. Instead, it may have ignited a quiet civil war within the team's walls. Elkann's words, then, carry more weight than they seem. When he praised Ferrari's engineers and mechanics but said, "The rest is not up to par," he wasn't talking about machinery. He was talking about mentality. He was pointing fingers at the human element, leadership, cohesion, and commitment. His reference to Ferrari's WWEC success in Bahrain was a not-so-subtle reminder that when Ferrari is united, it wins. When divided, it collapses. And right now, unity appears to be in short supply. Hamilton's reaction came swiftly, and it was classic Lewis, calm, defiant, and confident. Posting on social media, he wrote, "I back my team, I back myself," alongside images of him entering the garage, holding the Brazilian flag and staring at the scarlet car, it was a statement loaded with meaning. Hamilton wasn't apologising. He was doubling down. I will not give up. Not now, not then, not ever. To many, it sounded like a reminder to Elkann that he's a 7-time world champion. A man who's built his career on perseverance, not silence. Leclerc, meanwhile, struck a different tone. His message focused on rebuilding and unity. Only unity can help us turn this around. It was diplomatic and restrained, the words of a driver who's been part of Ferrari long enough to understand the politics within. But even that calmness carries weight, because when your team's chairman publicly tells you to talk less, even measured words sound like resistance. It's also telling that Elkann's criticism comes during one of Ferrari's most delicate transitions in years. The team hasn't won a constructors' title since 2008, or a drivers' championship since Kimi Räikkönen in 2007, nearly 2 decades of waiting. Fred Vasseur was given a renewed 3-year contract to stabilise operations, but the pressure from above has only grown stronger. Ferrari entered 2025 with immense expectations after signing Hamilton. But instead of progress, they've found frustration. No race wins, no podiums for Hamilton, and growing doubts about whether this dream partnership was destined to work. Hamilton's arrival was supposed to be Ferrari's masterstroke, blend of experience, charisma, and leadership. Yet, for all his efforts, the reality has been brutal. The Ferrari SF25 hasn't delivered the pace he needs, and the team has repeatedly stumbled with strategy, reliability, and internal coordination. Hamilton's frustration has occasionally shown, though he's been careful not to attack his engineers publicly. Still, subtle hints in interviews about needing clearer direction or better internal communication have likely not gone unnoticed by Elkann. Leclerc, on the other hand, has quietly maintained better form. He's been consistent, often quicker in qualifying and more adaptable to the car's limitations. Yet even his composure seems to be cracking under pressure. After Brazil, sources described the Ferrari garage as ice cold. Mechanics kept to themselves, team leaders avoided cameras, and neither driver spoke to the media beyond their short statements. For a team that preaches passion, the silence spoke volumes. As the season heads towards Las Vegas and the final races of 2025, Ferrari finds itself at a crossroads. The team can rally behind Elkann's tough love and use it as motivation to rebuild momentum, or it can implode, with whispers of mistrust becoming full-blown fractures. With 2026's regulation reset on the horizon, this is a defining moment. Ferrari cannot enter a new era divided. One thing is clear: Hamilton and Leclerc are now under the microscope like never before. Every gesture, every word, every glance in the garage will be interpreted as either loyalty or dissent. So what do you think? Are Hamilton and Leclerc truly united behind the scenes? Or has Ferrari's pressure cooker finally started to explode? Could Elkann's public scolding be the moment that either breaks this partnership or forges it into something unstoppable? Let me know your thoughts below, because this, right here, could be the turning point in Ferrari's modern history.